Hello, my name is Jack Walker, and I'm at the moment attending Boise State University. And I buy Halloween masks, repaint them, resell them. Now, I don't want to base my whole, my career off this. It's just a little extra side thing. What I really want to do is make movies, like direct and write them. And, making props and painting, that's just an extra plus. I just want to be a jack, this hobby turned into kind of another thing to kind of be a jack of all trades for what I want to do in the future. It's tough because they're both to me just super cool in many different ways, but I'd have to go with Jason. His movies, just as a kid, were just really just his movies that got me into the whole genre and doing all this. So I wouldn't be doing all this without watching Jason. And I just think he's just so tough and brutal and badass. It's awesome.
Where did it happen? That's right down the street.
Well, like I said, it's just out of the horror movies that I watched with my uncle and my dad as a little kid, it was usually majorly slashers, 80s slashers, like I said before, and most of the time it would be either Halloween with Michael Myers or Jason Friday the 13th movies we'd watch, and those would just always be my favorite. And I don't know, those characters are just so cool to me. Well, what interested me was just ever since I was a little kid, I was into horror movies. My dad and my uncle, we'd always just get together and just watch all the old classics. Jason, Michael, Freddy, Chucky, all those guys. And it's just, I don't know, when you watch things as little kids, you just, as a little kid, it just, gets caught in your mind and turns into a hobby or, a personal like later. And then, I just always, loved those movies so much. I always, wanted to have their masks because I thought those characters were just so cool, like Michael Myers, Jason, Ghostface from Scream. It was just, they're cool. So I thought, and then, I'd go to the Halloween store and the paint was just terrible. So I'd repaint them to make them look as close to the movie as possible. And then I started reselling them. Quickly summarize how you repaint a mask. I usually would, because it's not Halloween all year, so getting a mask, you go online, find a used one, and I'd order it. And then when you get it, you wipe it down with paint thinner, or you could get a Dremel tool and get a cotton tip and grind up all the stock paint, because that stock paint is just lazy cheap and looks terrible. But when you get rid of the paint and you get to the under layer of the mold of the mask, they use the same exact molds that they use from the movies, it's just the paint sucks. So I take all that crappy paint off, and then, just repaint it. Take out pictures from the movies so I can get every single little detail as best I can right. I'm very OCD, and I want each mask to look identical to the scene or to the variant that I want. I've got a whole bin of them back there. And then I forgot to mention, after I do that, I just go list them on my eBay page, and then try to put them up there for bids.